Your life.
Hey, everybody. I'm Scott Zimmerman with Drunken Disorderly Media on tap. Hey, have you ever tried CBD or hemp buds? Well, we have got a great deal for you. Yeah, use that discount code DRUNK at northspokanecbd.com and get 15% off your order. North Spokane CBD offers pesticide-free, high-quality, third-party tested cannabis-derived CBD products. You won't get any of the nasty stuff from them. So remember, northspokanecbd.com. Use the discount code DRUNK, D-R-U-N-K, for 15% off at northspokanecbd.com. And now, let's talk about some news. So we have been hearing about this coronavirus. And I guess we should probably find out, is it time to panic just yet? Here's the situation. The CDC has called the disease an emerging and rapidly evolving situation. So that means they're keeping an eye on it. At this point, it's killed more than 100 people in China, where there's actually been 4,500 cases. Outside of China, there's been 60 cases, including 5 here in the U.S. And I saw a headline today that they may have found an additional 2 in University of Miami, Ohio, I believe, is where it was. So the CDC and the U.S. Department of Health at this point have announced today that they are adding more screening to airports in the United States. So you not only have to go through the TSA process, but now they're apparently going to expand the coronavirus screening efforts in 20 different airports. 20 different airports altogether. So if you're going to Los Angeles or San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, San Diego, Seattle, Honolulu, Anchorage, Minneapolis, Detroit, Miami, Washington, the Dulles International Airport there, Philadelphia, Newark Liberty, Boston Logan International, El Paso, and of course Puerto Rico. These are all airports that they've added additional screening to screen for the coronavirus there. Is it time to panic? No, it's not time to panic yet. If you remember SARS, we'll probably see it'll be similar to what happened with the SARS back in the day. But still something to keep an eye on, the coronavirus. I remember when the coronavirus was something that I simply would call into work and say, hey, I got the coronavirus. Just kidding. And there's low-hanging fruit for jokes, but it's a serious deal. We want to keep an eye on it. People are dying from it. I know I have personally know a few people that are cheering it on because they feel like a new plague is exactly what this planet needs at this point. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on the coronavirus and see where it goes. It looks like Facebook has a new privacy tool available to its users, which turns out to be a complete data landfill. This tool lets any Facebook user go into their settings and see a list of apps and websites that have shared their information with Facebook. Organized by the most recent time that they shared data, paired with a number indicating how many quote-unquote interactions have been shared. The interactions aren't necessarily specified, but examples of what they could be are provided within the tool. So in case you didn't know, Facebook is spying on you. And pretty much any website that you have to join, especially if you join using your Facebook account, is going to share data with Facebook. And the information is just going to be there. We've all had that circumstance where we've thought of something and then the next thing you know, there's an ad on Facebook for it. Yeah, that's some serious stuff, folks. When we talk about it, Obviously, our phones are listening all the time, so that if we want to get Google's attention, all we have to do is summon Google, or Siri is. Wants our attention, we can just summon Siri. But it's got to be listening. I just had to kill my Google over here because I said the name. And they're always listening, and they're always talking, and they're always communicating with one another. That's your data. That's your information. That is the marketplace of the future, is human data. So keep that in mind. Is it time to panic and close all your social media accounts and run away? Hey, I know people that have done that. It works for them. I don't know how they do it. I got to have my daily meme fill. Speaking of which, go visit at Mr. Z Comedy on Facebook for your daily 420 funny. It's a meme posted every day, once a day. I try not to blast you too much, but laughter is necessary in life. And I think 4:20 in the afternoon is a good time to get a chuckle. So like and follow my page on Facebook for your daily funny at 4:20. Looks like we have another earthquake that struck in the Caribbean between Cuba and Jamaica. 7.7 magnitude this earthquake was. Wow. I first read that and I thought, oh man, that's going to be nothing but trouble. But it looks like it shook a large stretch from Florida to Mexico after the aftershocks, but there was no major damage or casualties to be reported. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said that the tsunami threat from the earthquake had actually passed, and that there were no other ones foreseen. So got a golden ticket on that particular earthquake. But we'll want to keep an eye on the earthquakes too. It's shifting, right? The earth is shifting. So some big earthquakes going on, some wildfires going on. Yeah, I mean, humans might be the next earth plague, right? Anyway. And then it looks like finally today we've got a prison in Mississippi that has had the 9th individual died in this prison. 9 in the month of January. They've had 9 inmates die in this prison. 26-year-old man was found hanging inside his cell earlier this week. He was the 9th. Last week on Wednesday, guards found a middle-aged man hanging inside his cell as well. Looks like a total of 12 inmates have died in Mississippi's prison system since the end of December. So I guess they're counting there. And it looks like 2 other inmates have broken out of the prison as well. Mississippi's got a new governor who is going to cowboy up, apparently. He vowed Monday to help turn the page for the state's prison system following the deaths of multiple inmates within the past month, and a lawsuit filed on behalf of the inmates over prison conditions. I read the article about this stuff. The prison conditions were highly unsanitary. Here, the reality of the situation is, and I wouldn't be surprised to find out that the prison system in Mississippi is no different than the prison system anywhere else. It's overcrowded. It's under budget. And the inmates are treated poorly. And the solution is to reserve prison for the most violent of criminals, if they are a threat to somebody in society or have done violent actions towards another. And yes, I would even consider an armed robbery violence against another. I think you should be in prison for armed robbery. But when you look at the statistics of people that are in prison, there's like 1,600,000 people in prison, in the federal prison system. How many of those people are in there because they had a gun on them in a place where they weren't allowed to have a gun? How many people are in that prison system for drug offenses, nonviolent drug offenses? Hey, you just happen to have some drugs on you. How many people are in prison for that? Fraud, Is that a violent criminal? No. Do they need to be behind bars? Probably not. Um, DUI, yeah, you got some concerns there. They could potentially hurt somebody, but again, then that becomes a different chargeable offense. If they hurt somebody while driving and while intoxicated. So if they're just in prison on DUI charges, do they really belong there? I read a statistic not too long ago that here in my home state, about 80% of the prison population were non-violent offenders, considered non-violent. Maybe that's a skewed number. I don't know. According to the internet, the great internet, in 2013, some data says that 46% were in prison for non-violent crimes. Listen, folks, the prison system is a flawed system. It's something that needs to be looked at, needs something to be considered. And one thing that we tend to forget is for every time we create a new law, we create a whole new batch of criminals. And is that the society we want to live in? Do we want to live in a prison society? I don't think so. I know I, for one, when I am near police or I am driving and the police are behind me, I get nervous. Even if I'm not doing anything wrong, I still get nervous, get my ducks in a row. Because who knows when the state's going to stop me and want to have a conversation about what I'm up to. And the reality is their job is to protect me and to serve me, not to harass me and fine me. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. You guys, that's been On Tap news recap for the evening. I'm your host, Scott Zimmerman. Thanks a bunch. Until next time.